Welcome, Grandmama Rose,
Thank
to
you,
your channel.
Thank you, Grandpa Roy. Y'all, it's a Monday morning. We're supposed to have some thunderstorms here in a little bit. We had some heavy rains yesterday, but they say we're going to have some wind and thunderstorms. Now, I don't know. Sometimes they get it right, sometimes they don't. But it's really cloudy outside, but it's a beautiful Monday morning. Any morning that the Lord wakes me up and lets me put my feet on the floor is a wonderful morning. And
One to be thankful for, isn't it,
one to
darling?
be thankful for. Yes, it is. All right, y'all see me cutting up some mushrooms here. And I have washed them, rinsed them off. And I'm just cutting them, just kind of chopping them. I buy the sliced mushrooms instead of the mushroom caps. These are just baby portobellos, I think. I think it's what this is. It just says sliced white fresh mushrooms. So a lot of times it'll be a baby portobello, but these just happen to be white, I guess. So we're going to do something a little different today. It's a recipe that we found in, well, kind of a recipe. I'm altering it. Y'all know I alter everything just about. We found it in the glycemic load cookbook, and it just looks so good. So, yeah, this is 1 cup of my mushrooms. So, all right, that's how much. That's 1 cup of just my chopped mushrooms. We're using chorizo today. Now, this is chorizo sausage, and I thought it was going to be like smoked sausage, but it is in a tube. It is like this, but you have to take the casing off. When you take the casing off, it's like this.
Like ground meat.
Kind of, yeah. And after I got home and looked at the recipe again, it said dried chorizo. So dried chorizo, I think is going to be like more like a smoked sausage or salami or pepperoni. But they did not have it anywhere where I went today. So this is what I'm using. It's probably going to wind up like scrambled sausage, but that'll be okay too. At least the flavor will be there. Mm-hmm. We're doing tomatoes, garlic. I've got 5 cloves of garlic, and I got a couple of more here I've got to do. Peppers, onion, radishes, potatoes. It calls for 1 cup of potatoes, but I'm going to do a little bit more, well, maybe half. I'm going to do a cup of potatoes, and then I'm going to do like a half a cup of radishes. I'm trying to cut my potatoes.
You're going to dilute the potatoes with the radishes.
These are my low-carb potatoes that have 1/3 the carbs
right.
of a regular potato. The recipe calls for the little new red potatoes or the baby potatoes, but I've got my canned low-carb ones, so that's what I'm using. We've got chicken thighs right here, bone in, skin on, and I've washed them. We've got some chicken broth, and I've got some black beans and corn out here. I haven't decided if I'm going to use it or not, but more than likely I will.
Yeah.
So,
throw some in there, baby.
I'm going to turn my burner on. I'm going to turn it on like between medium high and high, because I'm going to cook this chorizo first. And while my pan's getting hot, I'm going to go ahead and get my garlic. Now this is the equivalent of 5 cloves of garlic. Now you can use minced garlic if you have it. I would either use minced or the fresh. I don't know that garlic powder will give it the same flavor, but if you don't have either one of those, then use what you have. All right. So I'm just going to take and chop these up. I just want my garlic chopped. I don't want it. I tried using this new little gadget I got, this new little garlic press, and it really didn't work well for me. I'll show it to y'all. And if any of y'all know how it works, you can tell me. I put it in the sink. All right. I tried this. This goes in here like this. And this is the one that chops it up really fine. But what happens is when you put your garlic in there, it doesn't go down
Through there.
like it's, those little things don't go down through those little things like they're supposed to. Now this side is the julienne side, so I don't know about it either, but I had to, what I had to do was take a toothpick and push it through those holes, even to get it to halfway work.
Maybe you needed Roy.
I was scared that I would break it if I called you, honey, because Roy's so strong. He does not know how strong he is, but in his arms and his hands, he is really strong. So, but anyway.
You can say that again, darling, if you'd like to. Just run that by again. I liked that.
The boy, when we were younger, Roy had such huge muscles, and he didn't work out or anything. Some of the young teenage boys would sit behind us in church, and they were amazed at just how big his muscles were. So, but he's just naturally muscular anyway. All right, now I'm just cutting my onions. This was a half of a kind of a large onion, so I cut it in half. Then it was in fourths, and I'm just cutting it in like slices, half moon slices, kind of. Y'all see me do this a lot, especially when I'm doing a dish like I'm doing today. All right. And I've got half of a red onion here, and I'm going to use it also. Because we love onion. Put as much onion as you want in yours. This is probably a cup and a half of onion. But I will have I'll have the recipe in the description box. All right, we've got our mushrooms, we've got our onions, we've got our garlic. My pan is heating behind me, and I'm gonna put some red bell peppers in here, and I'm just gonna cut them like that, and then I'm just gonna slice them. Kind of like I do, about the same size as my onions. Okay? Because you don't want them chopped in little pieces. Or I don't. All right, I want to take that out though. I smell my pan getting hot behind me. Now I'm probably going to use this whole pepper. Now this recipe calls for a certain pepper. I've never heard of it. I don't even know where you can find it. And I'll tell you in a minute what the name of that pepper is. Do you remember, honey?
Nope.
It's one we couldn't pronounce anyway. So, don't think it was a hot pepper though.
It wasn't. It was a small, it's a green pepper, long like your finger, like your index finger, and about that big around. You were supposed to slice the circles.
Yeah, supposed to cut it. Kind of like a banana pepper probably, but
Yep, sort of like that.
nothing, I mean, the name of it was nothing like a banana pepper. I'm going to look it up for y'all. I think it started with a K. All right. Now, I am going to slice my, sorry y'all, my light under my oven is out. And I'm going to slice this and see if I can't leave it in little pieces to keep it from tearing all up. But I may not be able to do that because I know it's supposed to be in little, I'm going to turn that down some. I know it's supposed to be in little circles. So I'm going to see if I can't keep it in little circles. But what I'm thinking is when I stir it up into my dish, then it's going to come all to pieces anyway. But we're going to try starting out like this. Now it comes in a little casing like that. And you just take that and just take that casing off. Alright. Now I think you could use smoked sausage if you don't have chorizo.
Or if you don't want the Mexican
Or if you
flair
don't
to
want
it.
yeah. You can just use, and it calls for 4 ounces of this sausage. So, alright. I wish I could have found the dried. It would have been so much easier and better. Okay. Now, there's supposed to be a good bit of fat to cook out of this. We're going to see. I don't want to burn it. Ooh, it smells good. I've never used chorizo, but it smells really good. Can you get over in here, baby? And see?
I think your tongs would work better than that. I don't know. Would it?
I'm scared it will tear it up.
Okay.
You know I always have a reason for what I do.
Yep, I know.
Usually I have already thought through things pretty good.
She says.
But then sometimes.
She tells me all the time, Roy, I think through every sentence before I speak it. And then she'll say, and you never think of a word before you say it.
Well, that's just, I don't know. If I'm going to have a conversation with somebody, of course, I don't know what their response is going to be, but I usually think of what I'm going to say in my head before. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I do that, so. All right, now I've got this on 6 right now because I didn't want it to burn, and I was scared it would burn.
Smells good.
It smells delicious. This is a 14-ounce package right here, and so I only used 2 of the sausage because it only calls for 4 ounces. So.
And your real meat is the chicken legs, thighs,
chicken
isn't it?
thighs.
Yeah, this is seasoning.
Yeah. This is just seasoning because I'm going to use this oil.
Yeah, I would.
Out of the, well, you do. You use this oil out of these, out of your chorizo.
That's going to stick together, honey.
I hope so. Well, I got to, maybe not when maybe it will.
Maybe those are put together like that so you can make little patties out of it rather than cooking it like a link. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
Because that looks good.
Well, block sausage, you make patties,
right.
And they stick together.
That's right, and they're in a tube too.
But this one has a lot of fat in it, and that's what you're cooking it for, not only for the flavor, but for the fat. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take these up, because I don't want them to get too brown. Now, they have, I'm going to read you the package. It says, no fillers, no soy, no water. So, it's just your pure meat. Okay, now, I'm going to taste of it.
Right off the top of the stove, right? And it tastes?
It's good. Different from anything I've ever had. But it's got a lot of seasonings in it.
Tastes like chorizo? Is that what
Chorizo.
Chorizo.
It has vinegar, salt, paprika, sodium. Cooked before taking the casing off. No. Cook before eating. Remove the casing. Okay. Now, this has got a lot of salt in it. I'm going to use chicken broth. It's got a lot of salt. I am not going to salt my chicken thighs. And I'm putting my inside down in that oil that came out of the chorizo. And I am not going to put a lid on it. Alright, I'm going to set my timer for 5 minutes. Okay? I'm not going to bother it. I'm just going to let it cook right here. because I want that skin to be brown and crispy. And when it gets brown on one side, I'll flip it over and I'll brown it. I'm not trying to cook it through right now. I'm just trying to brown it and get that skin crispy.
Seared.
So,
Good.
all right,
Okay.
we've got all our prep done. So, I'm going to let this cook, and all I got to do is just cut my radishes. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the two ends off, and I'm going to quarter it, and it's going to be the same size as my potatoes. Now, if you're using new potatoes, fresh potatoes, and you're also using radishes to cut it, you would just take a radish this big and just cut it in half like you would, because you would cut your new potatoes in half. You would do the same thing with the radish, so they'll be about the same size. You do that so they'll cook the same amount of time. So, all right, we're going to let this cook. I got my timer set, and we'll be back.
How's it coming, Grandmama?
All right. I turned it on for 2 more minutes because it wasn't as brown as I wanted it. So I cooked them 7 minutes, and the recipe says 7 to 8 minutes. Now these are not done, okay? But the skin is really crisp.
Sure are pretty.
And the skin is really crisp. All right, now I'm going to leave this in my skillet. I'm going to put my radishes in. Now, if you're using fresh potatoes, raw potatoes, you put them in now. I'm using cooked. Mine are already cooked because they're canned. So I'm going to wait a few minutes before I put them in because I don't want them to tear all to pieces. And I'm in the process of slicing my 2 tomatoes. All right. I'm going to put my onions and my peppers in. I'm going to put my mushrooms in. And we're going to cook this. And it also calls for garlic. So I'm putting my garlic in, my 5 cloves of garlic. I got that in. And I did not put any pepper on my chicken, so I'm going to add, oh, that's salt. I didn't want to put salt because the chorizo and the chicken broth that I'm going to use in a minute is really salty. So, all right. Now, like I said, if you were using fresh potatoes, you would put them in now. All right. Now, all this has got to cook. Let me make sure I got everything in here. I don't have my potatoes. I don't have my tomatoes, but that's okay. My chorizo does not go in yet. Paprika. This is smoked paprika. Calls for 2 teaspoons, so I'm going to put 2 teaspoons in there. So,
You don't know any better than just do what they say?
well, I don't do a lot of what they say. But the smoked paprika just did seem like it would be good. So.
Smoked paprika is good
Yeah.
on a lot of stuff.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. I turned it up to brown my chicken, but I'm turning it down now because I want these peppers, onions, and mushrooms and radishes. So I was supposed to cook them like 5 minutes. So I guess I'll set my timer now for 4 minutes because I've already been cooking about a minute. So, all right, when this gets ready, then I'm going to put my potatoes in. I'm going to put my chicken broth in. I'm going to nestle my my thighs in that. And I don't put the chorizo back in it until everything gets done. I've still got to cook this chicken until it gets 165 degrees internally. So that'll take probably, I don't know, 10 minutes.
You're going to add a few black beans?
I'm thinking, I'm going to add a few black beans And you know what? Since I've got potatoes in here, I don't know that I'm going to do the corn.
Okay.
I may do like a tablespoon of corn just for the looks, just because, to make it pretty. So, and my tomatoes go in when I put my chicken broth in. So, all right. Give me about 3 or 4 more minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll get everything put in the pan. Y'all, I want y'all to look at that.
Ooh, that
Man,
is looking good.
Doesn't that? Look at those radishes. It's just like a potato in there. All right, I'm going to put, now this is the one, my low-carb potatoes that I have canned, and I've rinsed them off because I told y'all I use lemon juice in them because they're a low acidity. And, all right, that was like probably 3/4 of a cup of potatoes. All right, now I'm going to add about, now black beans are low carb load, okay? So I'm going to add 3 tablespoons, and I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of corn. That's just for the look, just for color. Yep. All right, now my chicken broth goes in. That was a 1/2 cup of chicken broth. All right. Now my chicken goes in right there. I got choked.
My goodness, what a beautiful dish.
Isn't that pretty? All right, now it's time to put my tomatoes in. It calls for 2, but these are bigger tomatoes, so I'm only going to put 1 tomato. Okay. All right.
Middle?
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to let this cook until my chicken gets, and I'm not going to put a lid on it because I don't want that chicken skin to get soggy. I want it to stay crisp. So we're going to cook this probably, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes, 8 minutes. I've got my little digital thermometer here, and I'll keep a check, and when my chicken gets 165 degrees, it will be ready. So we'll be back.
When do you put the chorizo?
Before I
Just before you take it out?
Just for
Okay.
about 2 minutes.
Because
before
it's
I take
done,
it
yeah.
up. Yeah, it's done.
Okay.
About 2 minutes before I take it up. Or what I may do is just wait till I get it on the platter,
Yeah.
and then put it around. So the chorizo, most of the flavor came out of that oil, and but it will. This is kind of like bacon, or maybe smoked sausage.
As a seasoner, you mean?
As a seasonal. Yeah. Yeah.
And the folks can use whatever special sausage they like,
Or
really, instead of the
smoked
chorizo.
sausage. You can even use bacon. Okay? So if you don't have any of that, you can use bacon. All right. I'm going to turn this down to like 4, which is medium low, and I'm just going to let it sit here until that chicken gets done. I got my piece over here.
You know your contract is coming up pretty quickly in May, your anniversary contract.
It is.
And this is, if it tastes as good as it looks, it's going to count 5 points toward extending your contract.
You going to taste?
Yeah. I wanted to see how you felt about it. Wow. So let me get some of these vegetables.
Salt your chicken.
They're good.
Chicken is not salty. Salt your chicken.
That chorizo does season it.
Yeah, it does. I'm not fond of mushrooms, so I'm gonna give you the mushrooms.
Ooh,
That chorizo is good.
that's good.
Different, but good.
I think I'll extend your contract, but I am going to ask for you to lower the price after 60 years.
This is good, y'all.
Well, it's good to me.
But
Whoa. Lime.
that chorizo is strong. I mean, it really,
That's good.
that is the seasoning that you taste in here. And
now?
it may be because I've never eaten it before. I've never had it. I mean, I like it.
In Western dishes and Mexican dishes, I like lime, and lime will be wonderful on this. Yep. Oh boy. Honey, I love that.
All right. I got a lime here.
Now they say if you microwave these before you squeeze them that they'll squeeze easy.
Yeah,
I've never done that, but
I have. And it works.
oh yeah, put some right on that chicken. Mm-hmm.
We love citrus on chicken and pork. Okay, try that.
This tastes good.
See if that adds to it. It will add.
Mm-hmm. It does. This is good.
It is good. It's very good. Not a flavor that I'm
Beautiful
used
dish.
to. You could serve this over rice, over cauliflower rice,
I like it
if
just
you
like
don't
it
want
is.
to eat it like this. But it has potatoes and radishes. It has all your veggies in it.
I think it's just like it is.
The lime made it better. It's very good. I'll just have to get used. If I make this often, I'll have to get used to that chorizo flavor. But it's
Well, that's good to me. I'm ready to eat
But you know, when you
something the first time.
taste of a flavor that you're not used to eating, sometimes it takes a little bit to get used to it.
That's working. That's working on me real good.
But it's delicious.
It is.
Okay. Food feeds the family, family feeds the heart, God feeds the soul. Make you some of this. It's healthy. It's delicious. Please share this video. Subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. And we'll see y'all next time.
If you